sa Department of Health at nandito ako ngayon upang magbigay ng impormasyon tungkol sa mga bakuna at boosters kontra COVID-19. Sa araw na ito ay inaalok sa inyong anak ang bakuna kontra COVID-19. Itong bakuna ay ibinibigay ng libre galing sa gobyerno. Nasa sa inyo pa rin ang desisyon kung magpapabakuna o hindi. Gayunpaman, aming inirerekomenda na magpabakuna na ang lahat ng eligible recipients kabilang ang inyong anak para maprotektahan ang buong pamilya, ang komunidad at eskwelahan laban sa COVID-19. Bakit kailangan bigyan prioridad ang mga kabataan para sa pagpapabakuna? Ang mga kabataan ay maaari pa rin mahawak ng COVID-19 dahil hindi pa gaanong na-develop ang kanilang immune response kumpara sa mga matatanda. At dahil sila ay nasa closed setting sa kanilang paaralan at madalas ay nagsasama-sama at nagkukumpul-kumpulan kasama ang ibang mga bata, maaaring mas bumilis ang pagkalat ng sakit sa kanila. Para mapanatiling ligtas sa mga bata, faculty, staff, at iba pang mga tao sa paaralan, kailangan natin ng bakuna. Ang bakuna ay magbibigay proteksyon mula sa malubhang COVID-19, sa pagka-ospital, at kamatayan. Makakapagbigay din ito ng mas ligtas na pagbalik sa paaralan o face-to-face classes at magagawang mas ligtas ang pagkikita ng pamilya at kaanak. Para matanggap ang ganap na proteksyon, importanteng tandaan na dapat makumpleto ang ikalawang dose ng kaparehong brand ng bakuna nang naaayon sa schedule. Sa madaling salita, protektado ka at ang iyong pamilya at ang buong eskwelahan kapag lahat ay magpapabakuna. Anong mga bakuna para sa COVID-19 ang gagamitin para sa mga bata? Ligtas at epektibo ba ang mga bakunang ito? Sa ngayon, ang mga bakunang Moderna at Pfizer ang maaaring ibigay para sa primary series ng mga bata edad 12 to 17 at Pfizer lamang ang maaaring ibigay sa kanila bilang first booster shot. Samantala, Pfizer lamang ang bakunang maaaring ibigay para sa primary series ng mga batang edad 5 to 11. Tanging ang mga bakunang nabigyan ng Emergency Use Authorization o EUA ng Philippine Food and Drug Administration o FDA para sa mga bata ang ibinibigay ng libre sa kanila. Patunay ang EUA na masusing pinag-aralan ng iba't ibang grupo ng mga doktor, healthcare professionals at mga at siguraduhin may maayos na daloy ng hangin. Maging bidakid po tayo para sa ating proteksyon at sa proteksyon din ng iba. O paano? Magpabakuna at magpabooster na po tayo at kita-kita tayo sa Pinas Lakas na Pilipinas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start the session, please take note of the session norms. For our Zoom participants, please mute your microphone upon entering the session room and when someone else is speaking. Number 2, all questions will be entertained during the Q&A portion only. For Zoom participants, you may type in your questions in our chat box or use the raise hand signal. Kindly wait until you are acknowledged before turning your microphone on. For our Facebook Live audience, you may type your question in the comment section. Our team will capture your questions and relay them to our speakers. Please note this session is recorded and is streamed live via the official FB page of DepEd Philippines. Again, for our Zoom participants, kindly retain your mic in mute and your video off to avoid disruptions during the live streaming. Everybody, please stand up for the Philippine National Anthem, followed by the opening prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Our ever-loving Father, the core of every reason, the source of truth. You who made the earth and the heavens are the ultimate goal of every knowledge seekers, the infinite wisdom, the cause of all that is good. We are truly grateful for this opportunity to gather together as a community despite the challenges we face each day. Yet you remained and gave us strength to carry on the responsibilities of bearing intelligence and using them for better purposes. We now humbly ask you to join us in our endeavor to explore the wonders of life in the world for knowledge's sake, that in whatever we learn today, we become more grounded to you, who is truth, who is love. We pray that you bless our speakers, the fount of your infinite knowledge, that they can share something worthwhile despite the limited time we have. They can channel all they know and share to us the beauty and truth of living as your child. We pray that you guide our participants, the seekers of your boundless knowledge, that they may continue to persevere in the search and be deemed worthy to share what they learn from today's session. Sanctify us, O Lord, not because we are worthy of it, but because we believe in your love and mercy, that at the end of the day, we can take home something that's amazing and meaningful. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Day
Recording
webinar
in progress.
series. I am Mahar Usman from the Employee Welfare Division. For today's episode, we will focus on the financial well-being, and we are graced by our invited speakers from the country's Central Monetary Authority, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, to enlighten us on how to identify and avoid typical fraud and scams. But before we turn you over to our speaker, let's hear the welcome message from the following directors. Director Nina Blanca Sanglay, the Director 3 of Bureau of Human Resource and Organizational Development. Director Nina, please.
Thank you, Maher. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from the Bureau of Human Resource and Organizational Development. I'd like to welcome everyone to the first episode of the Wellness Day webinar series, which is of course in line with the department's efforts to continuously promote the holistic wellness through the provision of different wellness interventions to our DepEd employees across all governance levels. So for today's episode, we will be focusing, as Maher has said, on the financial dimension of your well-being with the topic financial fraud and scams. Magandang maulan na hapon po sa ating lahat na mga ka-DepEd, our teachers, our personnel from the central office, field offices, and schools. Good afternoon din to our friends from the BPI and the BSP, Director Owen Camayo, Executive Director of the BPI Foundation, Mr. Arnel Adrian Salva, Deputy Director of the Economic and Financial Learning Office of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and to our speaker, Ms. Jennifer C. Villena, also from the BSP. It is truly nice to see that we are now starting to emerge from the difficult situation brought about by the pandemic, and now we're almost back to normal, but to the new normal that is. In the beginning of 2022, we have heard reports that certain DepEd personnel have been victimized by phishing scam, and there were unauthorized withdrawals and transactions from the victims' payroll accounts ranging from hundreds and hundreds of pesos. No? They were tricked through email and sometimes text messages asking them to provide crucial bank information. That's why for today's topic, we are graced by a speaker from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to enlighten and help us identify the common financial fraud and scams. She will give us tips on how to guard our money against fraudulent schemes and what to do when we become victims na wala pong sanang mabiktima ulit. As we usually hear, knowledge is power. So we hope that you get as much knowledge and information that you need from this webinar in order to achieve financial safety and security. With that, once again, let me welcome everyone, and we hope you enjoy this 2-hour session while getting an opportunity to be on the right track with your financial wellness. Magandang hapon at maraming salamat.
Magandang hapon din po, Director Nina, and thank you very much for that message. And now let's also hear the message from Director Owen Camayo, the Executive Director of BPI Foundation. Director Camayo, please.
Thank you so much, Maher. Nina, maraming salamat. Good day to our partners from the DepEd, Bureau of Human Resources and Organizational Development, or DepEd BHROD. The Bangko Sentral of Pilipinas, and to our hardworking DepEd teaching and non-teaching personnel nationwide who are joining us via Zoom and Facebook Live. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you to the first of 5 financial wellness episodes under the Wellness Days webinar series. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the amazing work that you do at DepEd. Amid the pandemic, you have shown your commitment to your profession and answered the call of duty to continue delivering quality educations to our million of learners or students. Despite the challenges in the implementation of modular and virtual classes, the members of the academe stand strong to ensure that the torch of knowledge and hope remains bright and promising. For this school year, the 2022-2023, the country reached roughly around 18 million enrollees. I know that this is a big responsibility to all of you as we transition to face-to-face learning. While you continue to fulfill this mission, we believe that it is also paramount that you remain well physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Looking after the well-being of you guys, our dear teachers and non-teaching personnel, is equally important to the welfare of our children. As your trusted partner in financial wellness, we want to empower you by enriching you with the proper financial knowledge that could potentially help you reshape your financial journey. Through FinEd Unbox, our customized financial education program, we hope to improve the financial capability of our everyday heroes like you. In 2021, we reached over 180,000 DepEd teaching and non-teaching personnel. We enabled them with personal basic financial concepts such as saving, budgeting, investing, insurance, retirement planning, and managing credit. I trust that you will listen and actively participate in today's learning session, which Nina said will be about fraud and scams. And hopefully, you can impart your learnings to your students, family, and friends as well. Good luck on your financial wellness journey. Stay the course and make it happen. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Director Owen. And now we are also graced by Mr. Arnel Adrian Salva, the Deputy Director of the Economic and Financial Learning Office of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Sir Adrian.
Hello, gandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Undersecretary Gloria Mercado, beloved teachers, non-teaching personnel, and guests from the Department of Education. Again, good afternoon po. Today, our DepEd staff are not only educators, but also learners. Events like this give you, our teaching and non-teaching personnel, the invaluable opportunity to proactively invest in your personal, professional, financial wellness. Teaching is not an easy profession. However, the pandemic certainly made it more challenging as you navigated the shift from distance learning to face-to-face classes. You worried about family safe and healthy. You also worried about the pandemic's impact to your household budget and to the economy. You worried about media reports on hacked bank accounts and on fellow teachers losing their life savings to scammers. All concerns cannot be solved overnight, but this webinar series was designed to help you address the most actionable. Today, you will discover how to protect your hard-earned money from hackers, phishers, and fraudsters. You will learn what to look for in a potential fraud or scam, and what to do when it happens to you or to a loved one. Knowing this is a must, since reported incidents of cyber crimes and fraud skyrocketed during the pandemic, alongside the rise in online banking and digital payments. Over 80% of Filipinos reported purchasing products and services online, and registered e-money accounts more than doubled from 63 million in 2019 to 138.8 million in 2020. These giant leaps in financial inclusion and financial technology, however, also came with greater risks. Ito nga yung ating i-address ngayong hapon. In the first 3 years of the pandemic, the BSP received over 42,000 consumer complaints from financial fraud victims alone. At least 2 billion pesos was potentially lost or compromised due to scams, hacking, and phishing incidents. While many of these cases have been deemed closed, the BSP continues to strengthen its financial consumer protection measures. The Public Act 11765, or the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Law, this May 2022. Under this law, financial regulators like the BSP, the Insurance Commission, and the Securities and Exchange Commission are given more teeth to the mechanisms. Regulators can now act on reasonable monetary claims more quickly, efficiently, and openly. Aside from helping victims, the BSP is equally committed to raising awareness on how and scams in the first place. This webinar series, which celebrate the role of financial education, and indeed of educators like yourselves in building a well-informed, financially literate public. As teachers, Each of you is in the best position to impart timely and timeless advice. A movement if we start how to save, grow, and protect our money. In doing so, we ultimately contribute to the financial wellness of the Philippine economy. Of this event. After this afternoon session, I hope to see more financially savvy FinEd evangelists or advocates among you here today. On behalf of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and our director, Ms. Maria Farah D. Angka, welcome to the Wellness Day webinar series on financial wellness. Maraming salamat at mabuhay po kayong lahat.
Thank you again, Director Nina, Director Owen, and Director Arnel for welcoming and warming up our participants. And now to proceed with our session and to introduce our guest speaker, may I call on our Supervising Administrative Officer and the OIC of the Employee Welfare Division, Mr. Earl Ryan Lucito. Sir Earl.
Thank you, Maher. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, welcome to the first episode of our Wellness Day webinar series, which will focus on financial wellness, specifically fraud and scam prevention. This activity is brought to you by the BHRD Employee Welfare Division in collaboration with the Public Affairs Service and in partnership with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the BPI Foundation. Today, we are fortunate to have our guest speaker who will provide us information on how to identify common types of financial fraud and scams. Her topic will emphasize vigilance on the part of financial consumers. She will also share tips on how to guard ourselves against fraudulent schemes and outlines the steps to take in case of being victimized by these scammers. She is an Assistant Manager at the Economic and Financial Learning Office or EFLO of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The BSP, through EFLO, implements various financial and economic education advocacy programs towards broader objective of building an inclusive financial system. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, a round of virtual applause to our guest speaker, Ms. Jennifer C. Villena.
Thank you, Sir Earl. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon sa ating mga kasamahan. Actually, ako po ay dating from Department of Education. First of all, we would like to thank the BPI Foundation, our partners, and the Department of Education for coming up with this Wellness Day webinar. And as mentioned earlier, ito yung first among the webinar series natin for 2022. Now, I mentioned kanina po na ako ay dating miyembro or dating empleyado ng ng Department of Education. I mentioned po ako ay actually I started po ang first 6 years ko po sa government, sa Department of Education. So during that time, that was Department of Education, Culture and Sports, Regional Office number 4. So hindi pa naghihiwalay ang 4A saka 4B during that time. And I started my job there as clerk 1. Tapos I think very instrumental din po ang Department of Education para ma-achieve ko ang pagiging certified public accountant. So malapit sa puso ko ang Department of Education. Now during that time, pwede pang mag-avail ng lump sum sa retirement. So kasama po sa mga pinaprocess namin sa accounting division ang mga retirement pay ng ating mga kasamahan sa Department of Education. And sadly, meron pong mga nabibiktima ng scams. Yung lump sum na pinaghirapan nila for several years ng pagtatrabaho nila ay sadly napupunta lang sa mga scammers and fraudsters. So it's a good thing na kasama po sa ating i-discuss just about fraud and scam prevention para maiwasan natin maging biktima ng fraudsters and scammers. Hindi lang po yung pag-iipon, pag-set aside para sa emergency, and also at the same time mapalago yung ating pera, but we also need to make sure kung paano natin may iwasang mabiktima ng fraudsters and scammers. Okay, so now before we dive in to our discussion about fraud and scam prevention, let us first watch this video. I think I have to, sorry. Kailangan ko lang i-share kasama ang sound. Ayan, kasama naman pala.
Amy, gabi na ikaw na lang nandito. Uwi na ako ah.
Sige, ingat.
Congrats ulit, milyonaryo ka na ha.
Salamat.
Bye.
Sige. Kala ko ba umuwi ka na? Ako, nakakatakot naman itong mga online scam na to. Congratulations. You just won 100,000 pesos. Load 500 to this number to get your cash prize? Ay, naku po. Nakakakilabot naman itong mga text scam na to.
Teacher Amy, pwede po ba kayong mag-donate sa Children's Ghost Foundation? Mag-donate ka!
Oh, pati ba naman mga bata ginagamit sa charity scams na yan?
Teacher Amy, dodobleng pera mo sa investment na ito. Garantisado! Pumirma ka na dito, dali!
Uwi na nga ako. Minumulto na ako ng mga investment scams na yan.
Nakasama multi-level business. Recruit ka na. Titriple ang pera mo.
Muntik na ako mabiktima ng pyramiding scam na yan.
Dapat matakot sa mga scams na yan. Maging mapanuri at mag-ingat kayo sa pagpapalago ng inyong kinikita. Maraming legitimate investment products kung saan pwedeng lumago ang ating pera. Gaya ng stocks, bonds, real estate, treasury bills, at UITF. Kumonsulta sa inyong bangko at iba pang financial institutions para sa investment products na bagay sa inyo.
Alright. So kayo po ba ay natakot sa ating video? Meron po ba mga natakot sa video? Pero alam niyo po, itong video na to, this is a sequel of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Teacher Edition. So sa video na po ito, makikita niyo si Teacher Amy, siya ay nanalo na ng 1 million pesos. At of course, given that, siya ay target ng mga fraudsters and scammers. So, ang good thing is that alam niya kung ano yung mga telltale signs para maiwasan maging biktima ng fraudsters and scammers. Okay, now we mentioned earlier that at the end of this webinar, we will be able to know ano ba yung mga most common types at least of financial fraud and scams, ano ba yung mga steps that we have to undertake kapag tayo ay nabiktima, and of course the red flag signs para maiwasan nating mabiktima ng fraudsters and scammers. And the last is that we will also introduce to you the BSP's Financial Consumer Protection Framework and BSP's Consumer Assistance Mechanism. So hopefully, marami po tayong matutunan dito sa ating webinar. Okay, now, before we continue with our discussion, let us first define ano ba yung financial fraud and investment scam. So, ang fraud, these are wrongful criminal acts. So pwede pong this is a criminal act, so pwede tayong makulong kapag nag-conduct tayo nitong fraudulent scheme. And also at the same time, this usually includes unauthorized financial transactions, or rather fraudulent schemes made on a victim's financial account. Ang scams naman, these are broader category under fraud, wherein merong transaction involved and at the same time, they will be asked, they will lure the victims into providing money or equivalent, pwedeng load, pwedeng small amount of money para makapag-transact ng kanilang scam. Okay. So ano ba yung common types of fraud? So we have card replacement, card cloning, ATM skimming, ATM jackpotting. So na-mention nga natin kanina, these are unauthorized financial transactions made on the victim's account. So paano ba nangyayari itong fraud, itong ATM skimming and jackpotting? So it starts with illegal installation of malicious hardware. So that includes camera, the scanning device, and of course, merong software naman when it comes to jackpotting in ATMs or point-of-sale devices. So the scanning device copies card information to create counterfeit or clone cards. Kadalasan merong kakutsabang. So there are instances when may kakutsabang merchant para makapag-conduct ng transaction using your identity. And also at the same time, pwede rin naman makapag-conduct online using the information gathered from your credit card or ATM card. Now for the ATM scheming happens naman kapag, of course, kasama yung PIN, diba? So may requirement kapag ATM na kailangan ng PIN. So the camera, the hidden camera, captures PIN information, allowing access to the accounts. Later on, papakita natin ano ba yung mga devices na ini-install sa ATM para magawa itong ATM scheming. Now, for jackpotting software, this gives hackers control over ATM functions. While this may not involve a specific account, syempre, to give an idea, around 41,000 peso bills ang pwedeng ma-dispense ng ATM in just 20 seconds. So roughly that's more than 100,000 in a minute. So napakalaki po yung pwedeng mawala dun sa ATM kapag nangyari itong ATM jackpotting. Okay, so these are the skimming devices. Makikita nyo sa ating screen, we have the real and the fake one. So meron naka-protrude na device dun sa fake. And also at the same time, ito rin yung isang example sa ating screen ng skimming device. Na makikita nyo dun sa ating screen also is the hidden camera, yung tiny dot na nakalagay doon. So medyo mahirap siyang makita. And also at the same time, yung ATM card skimmer. Another one is the PIN pad overlay. So nandito naman kinakapture yung ating PIN kapag tayo ay nag-key in ng ating PIN sa ATM. Now, how can we prevent this ATM skimming? We can prevent them by making sure na equipped with EMV chip yung ating ATM card. So that means yung microchip based, it stands for EuroPay, MasterCard, Visa, chip based. So the good thing with this one is that hindi statically stored sa magnetic stripe. What do we mean by the magnetic stripe? Yun yung nasa likod ng ating ATM card, yung black stripe doon. Wherein doon nakastore supposedly yung ating information. But if it's EMV chip based, it's stored in the microchip and it generates a different unique transaction code whenever nakakanda ka ng transaction. So every time nakakanda ka ng transaction, merong unique code na generate, which is very hard for fraudsters to get. That's the reason why mas maganda kapag EMV chip based ang ating ATM at credit card. And this is also the reason why in 2018 fully migrated na lahat ng mga ATM cards natin and credit cards because of the shifting to microchip based ATM and debit card. Okay, now another one is that we need to make sure kung ano ba talaga yung itsura ng ATM. So kapakapain nyo, galaw-galawin nyo kung meron mga gumagalaw na devices or nakadikit dun sa ating ATM. So it's likely that it's not part of the ATM. So wag na tayong mag-withdraw dun sa ganitong type of ATMs. And mas maganda kung it's merong security guard or well-lighted yung ATM area para mas safer para sa atin. Especially kung hindi naman tayo dapat mag-transact, mas maganda kung pagpaliban na lang natin sa ibang araw ang pag-transact, especially kung hindi tayo komportable mag-transact dun sa ATM na yun. Now, another one is that we also need to check yung mga transactions natin. Regularly check our transactions kung merong mga unauthorized transactions made dun sa ating account. As much as possible, we need to report it immediately to our financial service provider. Okay, alam niyo po ba na ang identity theft po, this is the root cause of fraudulent financial transactions. It starts with theft of the victim's personal and account information. And then, of course, the fraud is committed using the stolen information to access the victim's account. That's why it's very important to keep our account information confidential. We need to protect our personal data. Kadalasan, meron tayong mga nagagawa na akala natin hindi mako-compromise yung ating data, but apparently, yung personal data natin, yung confidential information that we have, nako-compromise pala dun sa mga ginagawa natin. And later on, i-discuss po natin yan. So what are the common modes of identity theft? So meron tayong phishing, vishing, smishing, shoulder surfing, dumpster diving, spoofing. So parang ano no, tongue twister, phishing, vishing, smishing, spoofing. So actually itong phishing, ito po, it usually goes in tandem with spoofing. So kapag merong email, it could be through fake banner ad, pwede rin namang sa fake website, pwede rin namang it's through email, as I've mentioned earlier, pwede rin namang voice call, pwedeng text message, there's an unauthorized or unsolicited email you receive tapos asking you to click a link, verify your account, tapos that link will direct you to a spoof website. Ang spoof website naman, it appears that it's your legitimate financial service provider's website, but apparently it's not. It's just it's a fake website that will ask you for personal information. Once you key in the personal information, your login credentials, then saka sila magta-transact dun sa legitimate website to get access to your account. Vishing is another form of phishing. That's why it's through voice call naman. So later on, i-discuss din natin yan. And smishing, this is very common nowadays. In fact, maraming kapag ka nag-fill out ka ng form, magugulat ka na lang in just a few days, may marireceive kang several attempts through smishing. So ano yung smishing? So meron siyang pwedeng sabihin yung job offer, pwedeng sabihin niya na Lazada or Shopee product na merong offering na discounted, pero at the same time asking you to click a link. Pwede rin namang, there are various messages para encouraging you para maklik yung link na yon. But apparently, hindi importante po na alam natin na hindi tayo basta-basta magkiklik ng link through smishing. Later on, i-discuss rin po natin yan. Shoulder surfing. So let's focus on shoulder surfing at dumpster diving. Shoulder surfing, importante po na aware tayo dito kasi kadalasan ang mga nagiging biktima po is yung mga hindi sila aware na yung mga dapat nilang pagkatiwalaan ay apparently sila yung gumagawa ng mga fraudulent schemes. So in this case, ang shoulder surfing, this happens when someone, habang ikaw ay naglo-login ng iyong credentials, nagkakandak ng iyong online banking transaction, is nakatingin siya dun sa credentials na ipapasok mo, ikikiin mo. And also at the same time, sila yung mga aware kung ano yung inyong birth date, kung ano yung inyong mother's maiden name. So those information, confidential information, wag po natin basta-basta ipapaalam sa iba. Now, how can we prevent this one? Siyempre, mas maganda if we transact not using a public computer, and also at the same time, making sure, alam niyo po ba yun, merong mga screens that will prevent others from getting a view of your monitor or your gadget's monitor. Meron pong, hindi lang sa, tawag dito, yung parang protector, screen protector, but it also provides you a protection para hindi makita ng iba from a different angle yung inyong screen, yung inyong monitor ng inyong gadget. Now, another one is dumpster diving. Dumpster diving naman po, this happens when even yung mga billing statements, basta natin tinatapon without cutting it and very fine. Kumbaga, mas maganda kung making sure na kung may shredder kayo or as fine as that yung pag-cut natin ng ating mga billing statements, okay? And even yung mga phone books ninyo, old phone books, yung mga notebooks ninyo, sana naman wala po ditong nagsusulat ng password sa mga notebooks. Naku, importante po ito because sometimes ito po yung naging reason kung bakit nako-compromise yung ating information because dumpster divers get the information from those that na nilalagay natin, pinatapon natin sa trash natin, sa basurahan natin. Alam niyo po ba, meron akong kakilala na ang kanyang way or isang trick niya para ma-ensure na hindi makukuha yung information sa credit card niya, old credit card and kanyang ATM, is by cutting it in half. Tapos yung kalahati, itatapon niya sa trash can sa bahay, and yung kalahati naman na itatapon niya sa opisina. So doon, para making sure na walang access yung dumpster diver dun sa nakasave sa kanyang magnetic stripe ng kanyang old credit card or debit card. Okay. So can you still follow? Hindi pa naman kayo. Hindi pa naman kayo information overload. Can I get a thumbs up or yes sa ating chat box? Nakikita ko sa aking screen dito sa left yung chat box. Parang wala. Hello? Okay, thank you, Ma. RX Raqueta. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, now have you seen a phishing email? So ano ba yung usual na nakikita natin sa phishing email? Maraming salamat sa mga nag-yes at nag-okay at nag-thumbs up sa chat box. Alam niyo po ba that these are the, ano ba yung usually present sa phishing email? So we have the suspicious looking email address. Pakikita niya sa ating screen. So xyzbank@yahoo.com. So normally po for big banks, universal and commercial banks, meron na silang sariling domain. So in that case, pwedeng customer service at abcbank.com. So ganun po siya. And of course, it includes a generic greeting. So hindi lang specifically yung, diba, ang name ni Ma'am Giselle, Charity Casino, no? So, Dear Giselle Casino, Miss Giselle Casino. So nakalagay dito, instead of that, Dear Internet Banking Customer. So hindi siya specific sa isang client. And also at the same time, merong misspellings and sometimes bad grammar. Alam niyo po ba, kadalasan tinatanong, bakit nga ba madalas na merong mga misspellings and bad grammar? The reason why these phishing emails include misspellings and bad grammar is that these are merong intention to fool the spam filter of our email account providers. So alam niyo po na syempre kapag merong mga ganitong sensitive information, sensitive words like internet, account, password. So this one, diretso na kaagad sa spam, diba? But in order for this to reach your inbox, dapat magkakaroon ng misspellings or bad grammar para parang personalize ang effect, right? And of course, meron ditong link to the spoof website. So ina-mention natin kanina. And of course, another factor na kadalasang makikita nyo dito sa ating phishing email na merong sense of urgency. So kailangan you need to act on this email or message right now or within a few hours. Siyempre, para hindi ka na mag-isip, matatakot ka kasi merong sense of urgency. Pwedeng sabihin nila they will deactivate your account, na-compromise yung account mo, so you need to provide certain information. So siyempre, sa takot mo, hindi ka na nakapag-isip na provide ka ng confidential information not knowing that it's a phishing email or it's a smishing. Another one is that it includes wala siyang nakalagay na contact information. So wala siyang contact information in case na gusto mong i-verify or i-clarify with your financial service provider. Okay, so now makikita niyo pa ang isang example ng phishing email. So makikita niyo dito sa ating screen, merong attachment that contains malware. Alam niyo po ba na wag po tayo makiklik ng attachments or links? Alam niyo po ba na pwedeng makapag-install ng malicious software or malware ang hacker sa ating gadget or sa ating laptop? And sadly, hindi lang po yung kapag nag-install sila ng malware, pwede na nilang ma-access kung remotely. So kung ano yung laman ng gadget natin, pwede nilang makita kung ano yung, kung may nakastore ka bang password doon, even access to photos, to all your kung anong nakastore na information sa ating gadget saka sa laptop natin. So wag na wag tayong magkiklik ng attachments and link. Alam niyo po ba yung, I don't know if you're familiar with the Axie Infinity. So alam niyo po yung hack dun sa Axie Infinity na 540 million na hack. That one was through the Ronin Bridge. That was that happened because of a fake job offer through LinkedIn. So because of that job offer, even if very strict yung kanilang way para ma-access ng mga account holders yung kanilang Ronin Bridge, na-hack yung Ronin Bridge nila because of that fake job offer through LinkedIn. So it's just an attachment na akala nila akala ng isang former employee ay legitimate job offer, but apparently it's not. So wag na wag po tayong basta-basta makiklik ng link, even if it's out of curiosity. Okay, let's have a chat box activity. Ready na ba kayo sa chat box activity? Baka we can also provide prizes para sa mga mananalo dito. We can provide limited edition Pisilit notebook. Nagbigay na agad ng limited edition Pisilit notebook. So who will answer correctly? I will just ask my colleagues to help me with the chat box. Okay. Is this a phishing email? What's your answer? Aba, nakasumagot na si Ma'am Reina. So I think it's Ma'am Reina Consolacion. So let's take note of that. Yes, tama po kayo. It's a phishing email. So makikita niyo dito na ginamit yung Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, no? BSP Circular number 950. At na-mention dito na they will you need to provide certain information to complete information, confirm, diba? But apparently, they will ask for information, login credentials, pwedeng sabihin related to your bank account. But this is a phishing email, so wala pong ganyan. In fact, hindi po humihingi ang financial institutions ng information from you. The only time that they will ask for your personal information is that ikaw yung nag-initiate ng call. Halimbawa, tumawag ka sa landline, tapos they will ask, you will inquire regarding a concern about your account. So the only reason that they will ask for information is they will inquire kung ikaw ba talaga, they will verify kung ikaw ba talaga yung kanilang kliyente. So that's the only time that they will ask for personal information, okay? Hindi ikaw yung hindi sila hihingi ng information kapag tatawag sila para i-verify ang iyong account. Okay? So minanala na tayo. So we'll provide a Pisilit notebook for that. So these are sample phishing email. Makikita nyo dito, sabi ko nga kanina, merong misspellings and grammatical errors. Again, ang intention is to fool the algorithm of the spam filter. And of course, meron ditong button or probably it may include link. And of course, makikita nyo dito sa ating example, yung A lang yung natanggal, diba? Amazon Management, so at masoncanada.ca. So makikita nyo, akala nyo, isang biglang tingin, it's Amazon. But it's not, natanggal yung A dun sa Amazon. And also at the same time, if you hover over the link, makikita nyo, it redirects you to a different website, diba? So it's not exactly the Amazon.com. So madali lang naman kasing palitan yung link. And of course, the link name, it's very easy for us to add the name, pero hindi naman talaga siya yung actual address or URL address. Okay. So let's have another chat box activity, another Pisilit notebook para dito. Okay? So, ready na ba tayo? Sasagot kayo kapag sinabi ko munang go, diba? Chat box activity, is this a phishing email? Go! Okay, so minanala na tayo. Very good. Ang galing naman ng ating mga participants. So, DO Finance. Ayan, si Sir Cordova. Ayan. Hindi ko alam kung how to pronounce his name. Okay, yan. Okay, yes, it's a no. Very good. I think magagaling na ang ating mga participants. So alam na nila kung anong phishing email at hindi phishing email. So makikita nyo, this is just an alert na merong invalid login attempt noong March 10, 2021. Tapos makikita nyo rin na it's a specific greeting. So kay Mr. Juan de la Cruz, and also at the same time, merong mga contact information kung saan pwedeng i-clarify or i-verify itong login attempt na to. So it's not a phishing email. Very good sa ating mga participants na nag-participate. Okay, I mentioned earlier na meron din tayong another form of phishing, and that is phishing. So how does this happen naman tong phishing? So this, as I've mentioned, this can be done using a voice over internet protocol. So what do we mean by this? Pwede ang isang person na merong email address, pwede na siyang makatawag using the voice over internet protocol. So kahit wala siyang legitimate number, contact number, landline or mobile number, pwede na siyang makatawag over the phone using the voice over internet protocol. So pwedeng they will represent themselves as a representative of a financial institution, financial service provider, and then pwedeng meron na siyang initial prior information. Let's say, for example, for purposes of discussion, alam niya na meron kang gold credit card. So, and also, ang offering niya, syempre sasabihin niya na meron kang, they will update you, or rather upgrade you to a platinum account. Tapos aside from that, pwede nilang sabihin na ang offering nila will only be valid today. Sabihin nila it's only valid until 5 p.m. today. You are lucky kasi you were chosen as one of the possible clients na pwedeng ma-upgrade sa platinum account. So apart from that, sasabihin nila na lifetime waiver of the annual fee. At pwede rin namang nilang lagyan ng additional gadget na pwede mo mapanalunan or makasama dun sa freebie for upgrading sa ating platinum account. So, syempre, interesado ka, lifetime waiver of annual fee. Tapos at the same time, meron pang gadget na freebie. And of course, yun nga, i-upgrade daw to platinum account ang iyong credit card. But the last part, sasabihin nila, is that they will ask for personal information. Sasabihin nila, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We will process this, but we have to also get this information. Pwede po ba namin malaman ng information your pwedeng mother's maiden name, birth date? Dito na kayo matakot because these are not legitimate offerings. Kasi ang mga bangko, again, sasabihin ko sa inyo, hindi po sila basta-basta humihingi ng personal information ninyo, confidential information. The only time that they will ask for personal information like your birth date, mother's maiden name, is kapag ikaw na yung nag-initiate ng call sa kanila. The only time that they will ask that is para ma-verify kung ikaw ba talaga yung kanilang kliyente, para ma-verify din yung identity. So never ever provide information sa mga ganitong instances kasi hindi po, again, hindi basta-basta humihingi ang mga representatives ng financial service providers ng information like this para sa mga ganitong offerings, okay? So this is another sample naman ng phishing. We talked about phishing. So this is another example naman, another form of phishing that is through short message service or the SMS or text message. So makikita niyo dito sa ating screen, this is the link to the spoof website. Kapag kinik yung link, makikita niyo na hihingi siya ng OTP, pwede niyo sabihin na mobile number, pwede humingi rin siya ng email address. Napakarami nga niyang hiningi dito. Even yung savings account balance nakalagay dito. So this information, hindi po ito hinihingi sa atin ng mga financial service providers. So wag po tayong basta-basta magbibigay ng ganitong information. No matter how urgent it is, kapag meron tayong concern sa specific financial service provider, sa specific bank, you just need to call their hotline para ma-verify kung totoo nga ba talaga itong offering na to or itong alert na ito. Which kadalasan po ay hindi. Okay? So let's have another chat box activity. So sino pong, again, mag-go lang po tayo kapag mag-go lang po tayo. Mag-start ang sagot after the go. So is this smishing? Aba, ang bilis naman ng ate. Si Ma'am Fatima de Villena. So this is, yes, you're correct po. It's smishing. Maraming salamat po dun sa mga sumagot. Yes, it's a smishing. So itong link na to, makikita nyo once you click this link, pwede na sila mag-install ng malware or pwedeng it will direct you to a spoof website and ask you for sensitive information, confidential information. So wag po tayong basta-basta magpo-provide ng ganong information sa ating through this. Sino po dito mga nakakatanggap ng mga smishing attempts? Yung mga job offering, sasabihin nila work from home. Marami po ba? Can you raise your hand? Ayan, sina Ma'am Janeline, ano, nakakatanggap. Actually, ako napansin ko para mga 3 to 5. Especially kapag meron ako na-fill out na information somewhere. So magugulat na lang ako, meron akong na-receive na mga ganito, pwedeng job offering, pwede sabihin nilang work from home. Thank you for that, Ma'am Janeline and Ma'am Nilda. Okay, so this is an example of phishing, sabi nga natin kanina. So wag tayong basta-basta mag-click ng link. Yun ang disadvantage ng smartphone. So they can just easily install a malware that can let them access our gadget remotely. So wag po tayong basta-basta mag-click ng link. Ito po yung reason kung bakit magugulat na lang kayo. Meron kayong transaction na unauthorized financial transaction is because nag-click ka ng link sa pinadalang text message nyo. Even that small, I mean, parang akala mo wala lang yun na nag-click ka lang naman ng link. But apparently, sadly, ito yung naging reason kung bakit naka-compromise yung ating online accounts. Okay, so how can we determine or rather know kung it's a spoof website? So makikita nyo dito sa ating screen. So wag na tayong umabot actually dito sa point na to. Sana wag na natin i-click yung link as I'd mentioned. Makikita nyo dito na iba yung URL address niya. So this can also happen kapag pwedeng na i-save na siya sa ating website or sa URL address bar natin. At makikita nyo dito na ano siya. This is not the correct website address. So in this case, ano ba talaga yung correct website address? Is www.paypal.com. Pero dito sa ating URL address, makikita nyo na xyz/paypal.com/cgi-bin. Now, if you have if your browser is Mozilla Firefox, you can also check this. You can right-click, tapos check the security at makikita nyo that it's not encrypted. When we say it's not encrypted, pwedeng any information that you key in at ipinrovide mo dito sa website na to webpage can be easily compromised. So it's important for us to be aware of this. Okay, how can we protect ourselves from phishing and spoofing? So be wary of emails, calls, or text messages that ask for personal information, have a generic greeting, misspelling, or bad grammar. Of course, these are unexpected or not typically received. So this can also link you to another website, and of course, does not give the full contact details. So yung usual na presence of phishing emails and messages, or smishing, as we earlier mentioned. Okay, okay pa ba kayo? Let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, let's have another chat box activity. Before again, yung winner will be determined kapag sinabi ko ng Goa. So what will, is this a chat box activity? What will you, rather, is this a chat box activity? What will you do if you receive this email? Is it A, click the link, or B, verify with your financial service provider? Go. Ay, walang sumagot. Ayun, okay, sorry naman. Hindi pala nag-automatic. So I think I will just ask my colleague to check kung sino yung unang sumagot ng B. Okay, so yun po. Yes, that's correct. You need to verify with your bank by calling its hotline directly. Of course, report the phishing and spoofing attempt to your bank immediately. Importante, the first recourse is, of course, to inform our financial service provider. Okay? Okay. So ito naman, i-discuss naman natin about digital footprint. Importante po, ito rin ang isa sa mga reasons kung bakit kadalasan naging biktima tayo or nakukompromise ang ating confidential information, personal information. We need to be aware that for every tag photo, browsing history, or search history, cell phone number, likes and comments, reviews, product reviews, birth date, itong lahat ng mga ito ay creates our digital footprint. So it's important for us to manage and protect our digital footprint. Alam niyo yun? Are you familiar na even yung mga ganitong information can already comprise the digital footprint na madali for scammers and hackers to check kung halimbawa masyado kang active sa mga browsings. I mean, sa likes and comments, or yung mga information, personal information, it's easy for you to share to your wall. So importante na aware tayo na itong mga bagay na ito comprise our digital footprint. So how can we protect and properly manage our digital footprint? So we need to do not share too much information on your social media account. So importante rin na even yung mga pinsan natin, yung pamangkin natin, mga anak natin, kasambahay natin, we should also be aware kung ano ba yung sinishare nila na information sa social media account. Baka mamaya, even yung mga simple things like birthday ng pwedeng birthday, pwedeng at the same time, sasabihin niya, meron kayong vacation, one week, walang tao sa bahay. Even those information, very important na hindi natin basta-basta sinishare. Alam natin, marami sa mga friends natin sa social media are not really that close to us, diba? So, mas maganda if we will also set up close circle. So, meron tayong identified na close friends per in. Itong mga information na to, pwede natin i-share sa kanila. But much important is that hindi tayo basta-basta rin nagsumasagot ng mga trivia questions like, what was the name of your childhood pet? Ano yung first teacher mo? Why? Because these are used. These are possible, pwede siyang gamitin as security questions para magkaroon ng access ang iba, unauthorized, sa ating mga online banking accounts or those that we are conducting financial transactions online. So, importante na wag tayong basta-basta. Why? Even if it's kumbaga parang interesting na gustong-gusto mong sumagot sa ganito mga trivia questions. Pero mas maganda kung wag na lang. We avoid answering this type of questions, trivia questions. Now, avoid using apps or games that promise to show you what you look like in 10 years or what will your future baby look like. Or pwede rin namang yung app that provides, after that, na-generate yung movie clip wherein parang we are acting as one of our idol or favorite actors and actresses, Hollywood actors and actresses, diba? Kasi because it will compromise also the facial recognition or will bypass the security features of our facial recognition. So, importante na alam natin na ginagamit natin ang facial recognition as one means to access our online financial transactions. Kasama yan sa hinihingi sa atin kapag nag-verify tayo ng accounts natin online. So it's important not to provide this facial recognition sa ganitong mga apps because it's very easy to compromise, makakompromise din ang ating online financial transactions. Now, alam niyo na, no, even these things pala can provide, at least can assist the hackers kumbaga kung masyado tayong active sa pag-share ng mga informations through our social media. It's very easy for hackers and fraudsters to get access of our online accounts. Okay, do that post photos of your identification cards online. Pwede kasing ma-fabricate yan yung driver's license. Diba, nagkaroon ka ng first, na-receive mo na yung driver's license mo. Or pwede rin namang even yung mga yung mga cards natin, report cards ng mga anak natin, nakalagay yung LRN, hindi po natin basta, wag po natin i-share yan. Kasi even the LRN can also be a means para ma-identify yung mga anak natin. So not good. Yung mga ganong information, wag po natin basta-basta sinishare online. Kung gusto natin ipakita yung grades ng mga anak natin, okay naman. Pero wag na natin not to the point that we will provide the grade, level, the complete name of our daughters and son, tapos at the same time, meron pang LRN na nakalagay, no? So even our diploma, those things, wag po natin basta-basta na lang i-share or ipopost sa social media, tapos nakalagay yung ibang information na pwede namang hindi na dapat i-share sa ating mga friends and family. So kung gusto yung mag-share ng ganun, i-cover na lang yung mga sensitive information na pwedeng maging means para ma-compromise ang ating online financial transactions, okay? So how can we protect and properly manage our digital footprint? We need to double check our devices, social media privacy settings. Kung naka-public ka ba, sana naman hindi. Mas maganda kung private ang inyong settings ng mga social media accounts. We need to keep our personal information such as birthday, mother's maiden name, names of family members. Baka meron ka dong family tree tapos nakalagay na lahat ng mga ating mga family members. No matter how proud we are, syempre, those information can also compromise yung safety ng ating family members. We also need to keep our cell phone numbers hidden. Kung ito yung means mo para makapag-create ng social media account, mas maganda kung yung cellphone number na yun is hindi rin yung ginagamit mo to get OTP. Okay? Yung iba, meron silang email, separate email for financial transactions, and a separate email for those relating to their social media accounts. Meron naman silang separate number for personal accounts and also at the same time a separate number for OTPs. Mas maganda rin kung meron tayong ganun, kung meron namang capability ang ating phone na magkaroon ng dual SIM. Okay? So what else? I hope hindi pa naman kayo information overload. So regularly clear your browsing history, avoid saving your login credentials, especially online banking information. Alam niyo po ba meron dating nag-complain? Nakita ko siya na nag-complain siya tapos about unauthorized financial transaction sa kanyang credit card. Sadly, siya rin naman naging means because of that. Dahil ang nangyari is basta niya nilang pinost yung kanyang credit card online dun sa wall ng financial service provider. So these things, wag po natin basta-basta sinishare yung picture ng credit card natin, even if it's the front part lang, kasi it's very easy for them to come up with the CVV code, diba? Kuha na nila yung card number mo, diba? So wag po tayong basta-basta mag-share ng ganitong informations online. Okay, okay pa ba kayo? Sana naman. So let's proceed to the cyber hygiene practices. Ano naman yung cyber hygiene practices natin? So we need to safeguard our gadgets. Kadalasan po, hindi tayo basta-basta nag-update ng security and antivirus features. Importante po na mag-upgrade tayo ng operating system natin and apps. Kasi ito yung means para mag-create sila ng bagong, gumagaling din yung mga hackers, diba? So importante rin na nag-create din sila ng bagong private and security features para ma-ensure na up-to-date yung security features ng ating software and of course our gadgets. Download only the legitimate banking apps and online shopping apps. Hindi porket nasa Google Play ay sa market ay pwede nang ma-download. So hindi lahat are legitimate. So we need to make sure na hindi naman mako-compromise. Again, sabi ko nga, kapag nag-install ka ng mga ganito, pwedeng mag-access na remotely yung ating information sa ating gadget. Do not download, install suspicious software, files, and email attachments. Huwag tayong gumamit ng jailbroken or rooted mobile phones. Alam ko mura tong jailbroken or rooted mobile phones, but it can also bypass the security of our gadgets. Mura nga siya, pero naman nagkaroon naman ng unauthorized financial transaction online. Not good, right? And of course, do not let other people use your gadgets. Huwag tayong basta-basta mag-share ng information, even to our loved ones. I understand sometimes dito nagsisimula yung mga unauthorized financial transactions kasi it's easy for us to share our PIN, MPIN, and other login credentials when in fact hindi naman na importante for them to know about it. Okay? Secure connectivity. Avoid using public computers and free Wi-Fi. Alam niyo po ba, no matter how good it is, yung feeling na ay nakakonect ka sa free Wi-Fi so hindi nababawasan yung data mo, diba? But this one, pwedeng ma-compromise yung information na nakastore sa gadget mo kasi hackers can just easily connect through the free Wi-Fi at pwedeng intercede between the connection at pwedeng makakuha ng information sa gadget mo. Not okay. You need to set your Wi-Fi router to the high security settings kung ikaw naman ay may Wi-Fi sa bahay. Even your gadget, just make sure na meron kang password for that para hindi naman anyone can just easily connect your Wi-Fi connection. Enable router firewall and encryption. Importante rin na meron tayo hindi lang yung default na password ang ilalagay natin dito, but it's something na strong and also tayo lang ang aware. Reduce your Wi-Fi signal range. Importante rin to para naman hindi lang anyone can just easily access to your Wi-Fi signal sa bahay. Okay, okay pa ba kayo? Sana naman. Hindi naman information overload. Hindi naman. Wala na sumasagot. Ayun, sorry. Parang hindi na yata nag-automatic tong ano. Ayun, thank you, Miss Hatch, for that. Miss Villena daw ang nanalo earlier. Ngayon ko nang nabasa. Okay. So, secure online activity. type the address or URL directly on the address bar. So halimbawa, meron kayong concern about a specific online bank. So online account. So you just need to type in yung URL address directly to the address bar. Make sure that the website is secure and legitimate. Meron siyang HTTPS. Pero also, alam niyo po ba, nag-evolve na rin ang mga fraudsters and scammers natin. In fact, even if meron kayong makikitang padlock sign, it doesn't guarantee that it is the legitimate website. So make sure that you check the address. Alam niyo, kabisado niyo yung URL address ng website ng financial service provider ninyo. You need to clear browsing history of cache regularly. Disable plugins and the save passwords a feature. Alam ko, very convenient tong save password feature, pero it's also one means para kung merong access dun sa laptop ninyo or sa gadget nyo, it's very easy for them to just type in kasi nakasave na yung password. Not okay, right? And of course, always log out from websites and apps after every use. Okay, now how can we protect our online transactions? Transact only with legitimate and trustworthy online vendors. Activate a two-step verification process or multi-factor authentication. We need to keep our transaction records regularly, review our transaction history. Enable text or email alerts. In fact, kung meron pinaprovide na online banking, mas maganda kung mag-avail na kayo ng online banking because sometimes it means for others to create the online banking account kung wala pa kayong online account. Report suspicious account activity to your bank immediately, as I've mentioned earlier. And of course, do not share account information, personal information to others, even your loved ones. Okay, now if you didn't follow that, you may scan the QR code. Ito, meron po tayong primer on online banking, how to protect ourselves. Nandyan yung na-mention natin kanina. So you can just get access to that. Okay, let's have a chat box activity. Another chat box.
Online, ha?
So, I'll say go. For those na baka na-mute niyo siya or kaka-connect niyo lang, kindly mute your account. Okay, chat. Wala pa akong go. Okay, chat box activity. Go. Ay. Parang nilito na ako. Saan na yun? So, kaya pwede pa tayo magsimula ulit kasi hindi ko na-check kanina. So, wag po muna kayong sumagot. We'll start with, ayan, tama na po muna. Wag na po muna tayo. Okay, go. Okay, so I think alamin ko mamaya kung sino yung nanalo. So the answer is letter C, capital and small letters with numerals and symbols in combination that only you can remember. Yun po yung best way to create a strong password. No, paano naman tayo makakapag-create ng strong password na maaalala natin? Ito yung kadalasang concern, di ba? Kasi meron kang strong password pero hindi mo naman maalala kung paano ba, kung ano ba, o saan mo ito gagamitin. So, I remember there was an instance wherein, alam niyo po ba kapag kayo ay magpupunta sa Baguio, meron kayong kailangan na sa Visita Baguio, di ba? App or sa website. Now, yung aking kasambahay, gusto niya mag-access or mag-create ng account. So, I teach her kung paano mag-come up with a strong password. So, of course, hindi ito yung totoong napag-usapan namin, pero to give you an idea, first time niya daw na makapunta ng Baguio. So, for example, ang name niya ay Elaine. Okay, Elaine ang kanyang name. Tapos, Elaine de la Cruz. Yung usual na lang, Juan de la Cruz, diba? Elaine de la Cruz. So, si Elaine, ang ginawa niya, since it's first time niya sa Baguio, inirelate yun sa strong password. So, my name is Elaine de la Cruz. It's my first time to go to Baguio. So, paano nagiging password yun? You just need to get the first letter of each word. So, it's what? M. My name is M-N-I, Elaine. So, E-D. It's my first time to go to Baguio. So, I-M-F-P-G pwedeng gawing capital yung Baguio, so B, tapos 2022. So nag-create na siya ng strong password. It's very easy for her to remember that. Pwede niyang isulat yung strong password niya sa notebook without anyone knowing that it's the password that she's referring to. At madali siyang matandaan. So yun po yung isang means para makapag-create tayo ng strong password. So don't ever come up with a password that includes your birthday, anniversary, kasi it's very easy for others to access that. Pwede rin naman kayong gumamit ng app para ma-ensure na matatandaan niyo yung mga iba't ibang passwords na gagamitin niyo for your online financial transactions. At yun, as I've mentioned, importante na hindi tayo gumagamit ng social media account passwords natin using our financial transaction. Make sure na iba yung financial transaction passwords natin sa ating social media accounts. Okay. Okay, so these are the common types of scams. Malapit-lapit na tayo sa ating discussion. As you can see, there's text scam, unexpected money scam, romance scam, threat extortion scam, donation charity scam, travel trouble scam, job offer scam, unexpected price scam. So text scam, this one is different from smishing. So text scam, this may include, pwedeng sabihin niya, meron kang nanalo ka sa raffle, they will ask you to provide, they will ask you to send money, sasabihin nilang processing fee. All this involves a transaction, like the unexpected money scam, sasabihin niya meron kang possible inheritance, meron kang matatanggap na malaking pera, but you have to provide them or pay them the processing fee or the small amount para ma-release sa'yo yung malaking pera na yon. The romance scam is also similar to this one, sa text scam and unexpected money scam, except that, syempre, dun siya sa soft side ninyo, diba? So, kadalasan ito nangyayari na pwedeng, if you're active sa dating site, merong mga maging interested abroad, magugulat ka na lang, they will ask you, or parang sobrang in love na sila sa inyo sa first time. Tapos eventually, sasabihin nila that they will pwedeng nagkaroon ng hindi magandang pangyayari sa buhay nila, gusto nila kayong makita. So, they will ask you to send money para makita ka nila. So, not okay, right? So, pwede rin namang, in fact, may kakilala ko na, laptop ang hiningi sa kanya para daw magkaroon sila ng information. Para magkaroon sila ng communication online. So, nasira yung laptop niya. So, humingi siya ng pambili ng laptop, diba? Ang sad part doon is, pinangutang yung laptop, not okay, diba? So, hindi siya maganda. Pinangutang yung laptop, so it's a romance scam pala, hindi pala totoo. After niya magpadala ng pambayad ng laptop, wala na, nag-disappear na rin yung lalaki. Threat extortion scam is also similar to this earlier mentioned. Hihingi naman sila ng may panakot sila sa inyo, tapos hihingi sila ng pera para in exchange of that. And also, yung na-mention kanina dun sa ating video, yung donation charity scam. So this usually happens kapag meron mga sakuna, tapos bigla nila magkakaroon ng mga ganito na sasabihin nila na merong foundation, mag-donate ka dito, but apparently there's none, hindi siya existent. So we need to just be aware kung ano ba to, legitimate financial institutions or rather foundations pa ito. At later on, malalaman ninyo kung saan natin to ma-verify. Travel trouble scam, pwedeng mag-pretend siya na a distant friend or a friend that you've known sa social media, tapos sasabihin niya meron siyang concern at kailangan niya lang makapag-travel dito, humingi siya ng pera. So pwedeng makapag-solicit sila through, mag-create sila ng fake social media account and solicit money from your friends. So that's also one form of scam. Job offer scam, yung na-mention natin kanina. So pwedeng, especially during this pandemic na maraming mga offerings na ganito, they will ask you for placement fee, will ask you to send money, pwedeng in dollar pa nga. But apparently, there's no such thing as hindi legitimate yung job offering nito. And of course, itong unexpected price scam, it's also similar dun sa text scam kanina. Wala ka naman sinalihang game or raffle, tapos magugulat ka na lang, nanalo ka. And of course, sasabihin nila na merong processing fee, pwedeng sabihin nilang equivalent to sa tax. at kung ano mang dahilan para makakuha ng pera sa inyo. But apparently, there's no such thing as hindi ka talaga nanalo. So merong hinihinging pera sa inyo. So ano ba yung usual namang scams na common or naging mas prevalent during this pandemic? So we have money mule scam, SIM swap scam, bogus online seller agent, and of course, advance fee. Now, yung money mule scam, ito po ay importante na aware tayo na huwag tayong basta-basta magpapabiktima dito sa money mule scam. Kasi they will use your account para makapagpadala ng pera. So this money are from illegal transactions. So pwede tayong makulong at maisip na tayo ay in connivance with this money launderers. So make sure na hindi tayo basta-basta mag-provide ng account information kahit sabihin nila na magbibigay sila ng certain amount in exchange dun sa ipapadala mong transaction or rather money sa isang account. Huwag tayong basta-basta magpo-provide ng ating information or account information. SIM swap scam, naging common din to. I hope wala namang nabiktima dito during this time of pandemic. Syempre, most of us through very important sa atin ang connection online, diba? So SIM swap, nag-offer sila, they pretended to represent a telco provider. Pumunta sila sa mga bahay-bahay and then giving sasabihin nila that they will exchange your SIM. Sasabihin nila to 4G, kung ba 2G lang yung SIM mo, sasabihin nila 4G, 5G na yung capability ng SIM na ibibigay nila sa inyo. But apparently, meron na silang idea na mga transactions wherein pwede nilang makuha yung or connected dun sa ATM or rather sa mobile phone mo. So, magugulat ka na lang once na nakapagpalit ka ng SIM, nakapag-transact na ng unauthorized transactions kasi kinuha yung OTP mo using your mobile phone. So, huwag tayong basta-basta mag-SIM swap. So, wala pong ganitong nagpo-provide or pinaprovide ang mga telco provider natin. Bogus online seller agent, alam niyo po ba kadalasan ng mga ginagawa sa atin ay syempre merong magandang offering tapos sa sobrang excitement mo, nag-deposit ka na and that's the only time you realize to check yung kung valid ba or itong bang online seller agent na to ay maganda yung mga reviews. That's when you will realize na bogus pala yung seller agents, especially dun sa mga platforms like sa social media like Instagram, Facebook. So hindi siya under one shopping app or legitimate app na intended for shopping or for selling online. So importante na i-check natin yung mga reviews kasi sometimes magugulat ka, the only time that they will check reviews is kapag nabiktima na sila na meron palang mga ganitong posts relating to the seller, hindi niya nakalimutan na nilang i-check sa sobrang ganda ng offer na binigay ng seller or pinost ng seller sa Instagram or sa social media or sa Facebook. So let's be aware. Let's check yung credibility ng ating sellers before making a deposit. Kasi yung transaction na yon is valid. Bawa nag-deposit ka using this e-wallet. Tapos nagbayad ka. So, hindi natin pwedeng habulin yun doon sa e-wallet provider na yun kasi it's considered as valid. What we can do is to bring it up with the DTI or pwede rin namang with the PNP or cybercrime group. Later on, makikita natin yung contact details nila. Advance fee, again, in exchange for a bigger amount, they will ask you to send a small amount para makuha yun. As considered as an advance fee. So marami pong scams, no? So wag naman tayong matakot. We just need to be aware kung ano ba yung mga red flag signs para ma-ensure na hindi tayo mabibiktima ng mga scams na to. Okay, let's have another chat box. Before I say go, ha? Masasabi muna ako ng go bago kayo sumagot sa ating chat box. So, is this a scam? Go! Aba, ang bilis. Okay, ang nanalo ay si Cordova. Okay, so siya po yung nanalo. Congratulations. Yes, it is a scam. So na-mention natin kanina yung ating romance scam. So marami siyang sasabihin sa'yo. Gusto niyang makita personally, pero magugulat ka once nakapagpadala ka na, hindi pala totoo. Wala palang ganitong type of romantic relationship. Ini-scam ka lang pala. Okay. So it's a scam. It's a romance scam. Okay, now let's proceed to investment scams. Okay pa ba kayo? Kadalasan, ito rin, nagiging biktima ang mga retirees, saka mga, that's good, yes po. So ang Ponzi scam and pyramid scam, of course, there's no legitimate business. So it relies on the money invested by new recruits and downlines. So importanteng aware tayo dito. And of course, na-mention nga natin kanina dun sa ating video, diba? So these are investment scams. So it focuses on cash investment and recruitment. For the Ponzi, additional recruits or additional investments, of course, magkakaroon ng payout or return. And for the pyramid scheme naman, of course, this focuses on products, pero wala namang value yung product. And of course, focuses also on downlines. Let's have another poll question. Ayan, so magkakaroon ulit tayong poll question. Again, pag nag-go ako, saka lang kayo sasagot sa ating chat box activity. Is multi-level marketing a pyramid scam? Go! Ayan, nako, teka lang. Yes. Naghihintay ako ng... So, ang nanalo ay si Ma'am Reyna Christy Consolacion. So, it's letter C. It depends on certain factors po. We need to be aware na it depends on certain factors. So, hindi lahat ng multi-level marketing ay pyramid scam. So, anong basis natin for this one? Okay. So, ang Direct Selling Association of the Philippines provided this 8-point test. So, if the answer to any of the questions here is no, it might be a scam. In fact, you can visit the Direct Selling Association of the Philippines website para malaman ninyo kung yung mga multi-level marketing providers para alam ninyo kung legitimate ba itong multi-level marketing na nag-o-offer sa inyo. Okay? So, if the answer to any of the questions here is no, it might be. Yes, it might be. No, it might be a scam. Okay, nalito na ako. Okay, so make sure na you can keep this in mind. Hindi lahat ng multi-level marketing ay scam or pyramiding kagad or Ponzi scheming. So, hindi po siya ganun. Meron talagang legitimate multi-level marketing providers po. Okay. So, we need to protect ourselves from investment scams. Importante na huwag tayong basta-basta na naniniwala sa mga too good to be true, yung mga double your money, walang risk na involved, garantisado in just a few months, meron ka ng ganitong amount of money. Alam niyo po ba ang investments, meron tayong risk-return trade-off dyan. The higher the risk, the higher the return. The lower the risk, of course, the lower the return. So, importante na alam natin na kapag investments ang pinag-uusapan natin, pwedeng mawala yung principal or yung perang ating ininvest. So, wala pong garantisadong investment. We need to keep that in mind. And of course, the second one is that kadalasan ng skill ng mga ganitong nag-o-offer ng scams is that they are licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So, importante na kapag tayo ay mag-invest sa ganito, kung duda tayo, we need to check it with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Meron silang advisories relating to this one. And of course, at the same time, they also issue secondary license para dun sa mga nag-o-offer ng investment products sa public. So we need to be aware of that. So hindi porket registered with SEC, automatic na siya, license to offer investment products. So meron silang ini-issue ang Securities and Exchange Commission na secondary license para makapag-offer ang isang company, registered company, ng investment products. Okay, so importanteng aware tayo dyan na merong secondary license. Now, we can also check the Securities and Exchange Commission website para malaman natin kung ano yung mga Ponzi scams or pyramiding. So, meron silang mga advisories relating to these companies na informing you na wag tayo makipag-transact sa ganitong mga kumpanya. So, nakalagay doon yung mga names at sasabihin nila sa inyo, meron silang regular advisory on this pyramiding or Ponzi scams. Okay, so we need to keep in mind, protect our personal and account information, report suspicious account transactions to our financial institution immediately. Again, offers that are too good to be true are usually not true. And of course, you need to report suspicious investment schemes to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the NBI. So bakit sa Securities and Exchange Commission later on malalaman natin? Bakit hindi sa BSP, diba? So later on malalaman natin yun sa ating slides na ipapakita natin. Okay, let's watch this video first before we proceed with the discussion on financial consumer protection.
Along with the increase in digital financial transactions is an observed rise in cyber scams targeting e-payment users. Common scams are those that trick you to share personal information through phishing emails, smishing text messages, phishing voice calls, spoofed or fake websites, or SIM card upgrade by unauthorized telco agents. In most cases, the scammer pretends to be from a financial institution, a popular company, or telco, and asks for your account details, passwords, OTPs, and other personal information. The scammer then uses these data to access your account for fraudulent transactions. Other scams trick you to send money to accounts that seem valid for transactions that appear legitimate, such as online imposter scams, wherein an imposter pretends to be a relative, financial institution representative, potential employer, charity organization, or romantic partner to obtain your account details and personal information or request for monetary support. Bogus online sellers, on the other hand, are those who pretend to sell products and services that are not delivered after you have made the e-payment or money transfer. What to do if you get scammed? Keep calm and follow these steps. Document what happened. Save messages. Take screenshots. Keep transaction histories. Call your financial institution's hotline immediately. Provide complete information and share evidence of the incident. Document all communication with the financial institution. Get clarity on its proposed actions and timelines to address your concern. Allow time for the financial institution to review, investigate, and act on your concern. Many cyber scams require full investigation protocols to determine accountable parties and execute solutions. If your financial institution does not act on your concern, or you are unsatisfied with its action, escalate to the BSP. Its consumer assistance mechanism serves as second-level recourse for complaints about BSP-supervised financial institutions. Contact the BSP Online Buddy or Bob on the BSP website or Facebook page, or via text message, only after going through your financial institution's complaint handling process. You have the ultimate responsibility to safeguard your digital financial transactions. Protect yourself from cyber scams. Know and be wary of warning signs of the different kinds of scams. Engage only with entities registered or supervised by government agencies. Assess reviews from their past customers. Verify the legitimacy and security of websites, apps, or social media pages before making transactions. Never share your account and personal details with anyone. Do not post these information on social media. Use strong passwords and change them regularly. Use different passwords for different accounts. Activate multi-factor authentication in all your accounts. These include security questions, biometrics, MPINs, OTP, email, and security alerts. Follow your financial institution's security guidelines and safety reminders when making online transactions. Remember that your first recourse about a cyber scam or suspicious transaction is to inform your financial institution immediately. Let's do our part to keep our information safe. Let's keep working with the financial services industry so that we can safely and securely make financial transactions online. E-safety is everyone's responsibility.
Alright. So, nakikita niyo sa ating screen, diba? Safety is everyone's responsibility. So importante na aware tayo na even yung mga information na sinishare natin is pwedeng makakompromise or makompromise yung ating financial transactions dun sa mga same things sinishare natin online. Now, what to do if you get scammed? Kung halimbawa naman ay nabiktima ka na, diba? So, anong pwede mong magawa? So, you can, as mentioned dun sa ating video, inform the financial institution immediately. As I've mentioned, this only applies dun sa cases wherein merong unauthorized financial transaction, but for cases wherein merong bogus online seller, tapos nakapag-conduct ka ng transaction with them, so you need ibang naman to, ibang channel naman. So it's kumbaga parang there's an agreement already done between you and the bogus seller. Pwede kang magreklamo sa DTI and also sa NBI sa kanilang cybercrime group. Makikita nyo yun sa screen natin later. So what to do if you get scammed? Again, the first recourse is to inform the financial institution involved. Now, kung hindi tayo naging happy dun sa result or dun sa actions taken by the financial service provider, then we can contact Bob. So sino ba si Bob? So you can report fraud, scams, and concerns relating to BSFI or BSP supervised financial institutions, products and services to Bob. So you may contact Bob through this video. So makikita nga through this channel. Watch this video, please. Ayan po. So nakilala natin si Bob, diba? So na-mention natin kanina si Bob is BSP's online body. So kung halimbawa meron kayong concerns relating to a BSP supervised financial institution, you may, at hindi kayo naging happy sa actions taken by the bank, you can reach Bob through different channels, 3 channels. We have the BSP's website, the BSP's Facebook page, and of course through the text message. Of course, ang text message po this is only currently available to Globe subscribers po. Now, ang maganda po dito kapag tayo ay nag-file ng complaint kay Bob after it was already brought to our financial institutions concerned is that mag-create na siya kagad ng reference number at i-refer to dun sa specific concerned financial institution. They will ask the financial institution concerned to provide the actions taken within 7 banking days. So importante na kapag tayo ay mag-file ng complaint kay Bob is that naka-ready yung documents natin, kilala natin of course the document natin, sino ba yung nakausap natin sa bangko, ano ba yung actions taken, ano yung kailan tayo pumunta sa bangko, ano yung mga minention nila na or sinabi nila sa atin in connection with our complaint, So lahat yan ilalagay natin sa narrative. And of course, we need to provide supporting documents. So we need to make sure na kapag mag-provide ng supporting documents, huwag natin include yung ating credit card number or yung picture ng credit card. Hindi po siya importante. So those confidential information wag nating isa-share through this channel. Okay. Now, makikita niyo sa ating screen, na-mention din kanina yung Financial Consumer Protection Act. So this one, this is just recently approved or signed by our former President Duterte into law. This includes the right to equitable and fair treatment. This also includes the right to disclosure and transparency of financial products and services, right to protection of consumer assets against fraud and misuse, right to data privacy and protection, and right to timely handling and redress of complaints. And this applies to all financial institutions, not only under the BSP BSP, but also under the Securities and Exchange Commission, Insurance Commission, and also the Cooperative Development Authority. So in this case, na-mention natin itong Financial Consumer Protection Act, we also need to inform na previously prior to this law, meron na po tayong Financial Consumer Protection Framework wherein merong 5 standards of conduct expected from BSP supervised financial institutions. And that also covers the right to equitable and fair treatment, so fair treatment, effective redress mechanism, disclosure of information, wherein importante na hindi tayo basta-basta or ang financial service provider ay hindi basta-basta makakapag-share ng information natin relating to our account with other agencies or companies without our consent. So we need to also be aware of that. Marami pong ikinover ang Financial Consumer Protection Act, and currently we're just waiting for the implementing rules and regulations in relation to this law. So hopefully in the next few months, na-mention din kanina, I think ang target is within the quarter or last quarter of the year. Okay, na-mention ko kanina na kapag concerning BSP, these are the BSP financial institutions or BSP supervised financial institutions. We need to be aware of this para malaman natin kung kaninong specific regulator natin ilalagak ang ating concern. So under this, makikita nyo under BSP, we have commercial banks, thrift banks, rural banks, cooperative banks. So meron tayong remittance agents, virtual asset service providers, non-stock savings and loan associations, money service businesses, non-banks with quasi-banking functions, and of course, the foreign exchange dealers. Now, ano naman yung mga financial institutions under other BSP regulators? So makikita nyo dito, under the Cooperative Development Authority, we have the savings and credit cooperatives. BPI, of course, the manufacturers of consumer goods. Insurance Commission, we have the insurance companies, PNI, mutual benefit associations, cooperative insurance societies. And of course, under the Securities and Exchange Commission, kadalasan nagkakaroon ng concern dito kasi nalilito na akala nila pag lending company, automatic, it's under the BSP supervision, but some like in the case of lending companies, these are under the Securities and Exchange Commission. So mga bangko na nag-offer ng lending products, these are under BSP, but for other lending companies, finance companies and investment houses, that's under the Securities and Exchange Commission. So importante alam natin yung NGOs, foundations, so aware tayo na it's under the Securities and Exchange Commission. So malalaman natin whether legitimate ba itong mga companies ito if they are listed under the Securities and Exchange Commission. Again, we need to keep in mind na hindi porket registered siya with the Securities and Exchange Commission, eh pwede na siya mag-offer ng investment products. So there's a secondary license issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission by SEC in order for a company to offer investment products to the public. Okay. So you can report frauds, scams, and abuses sa SEC-registered companies. Concerning SEC-registered companies, so ito yung kanilang contact number and email address. So meron tayong Investor Enforcement and Investor Protection Department and Corporate Governance and Finance Department. You can also bring it up with an NBI. So we have the Anti-Fraud and Action Division, especially if it involves cybercrime. So under the Cybercrime Division and Anti-Fraud and Action Division po ng NBI. Of course, we can bring it up also with PNP sa anti-cybercrime group nila. So ito naman ang kanilang contact number and email address. So we'd like to emphasize na consumer protection, this is a shared responsibility. And I hope na yung natutunan ninyong information dito na avoiding or making sure na yung mga, or we are managing the information that we are sharing through our social media will be also important para mapangalagaan natin yung ating mga online transactions or online accounts natin. Consumer protection is a shared responsibility. So hindi lang po siya responsibilidad ng government, ng regulators, ng financial institutions, but also us as financial consumers, kailangan nating ma-ensure na pinaprotektahan din natin ang ating information para hindi ma-compromise at maging ma-compromise or makuha ng mga hackers and fraudsters. Maraming salamat po. I think I can now turn you over again to Maher before we proceed with the open forum.
Thank you, Ms. Jen, for sharing your expertise. Fraudsters and scammers have become more and more creative and sophisticated in their attempts to gain access to our personal information and financial accounts. By knowing these common types of frauds and scams, we will be able to protect ourselves and our hard-earned money. Right, audience? And now may we invite you, ma'am, to join us to the Q&A portion. Ma'am Jen?
Hello
Okay.
again.
Yes po. Viewers, as much as we wanted to accommodate all of the questions, due to time constraints, I'll only give one question. But don't worry, you can type your questions in the evaluation link that we will show later, and we will answer them with the help of our partner. Okay? So our question, Ms. Jen, goes like this. How do you file a legal case against someone who scammed you?
Okay, so medyo challenging yun. So how do you file a legal case against someone who scammed you? So if it involves a financial institution under the Securities and Exchange Commission, you need to inform the Securities and Exchange Commission about this. We also need to be aware na kapag recruiter ka ng Ponzi or pyramiding scam, pwede kang makulong if you are identified by the yung ni-recruit mo. So hindi porket ikaw yung hindi ikaw yung mastermind ay pwedeng ma-excuse ka na against this, diba? Or regarding this concern sa pyramiding or scam, Ponzi scam. So you can inform or get in touch with the Securities and Exchange Commission if it involves financial institution under SEC. Kadalasan po kasi when we talked about pyramiding and Ponzi scam, it's under the SEC po, and we have to inform them. Pwede kang mag-request sa kanila ng assistance on how to file a complaint regarding or a case sa isang recruiter concerning a Ponzi or pyramiding scam.
Okay, thank you again, Ms. Jen, for addressing this question. Sana yung mga viewers natin, marami silang natutunan ngayong araw. And gaya ng mga iba't ibang mga nasa lipunan ngayon, marami din silang nasa scam talaga, Ms. Jen. So, thank you to our participants here in Zoom and to our FB Live viewers for your active participation in our session today. Before we officially end this session, may we ask Ms. Jen for her advice and word of thanks for our viewers.
Thank you, Maher. Yes, thank you everyone for those who attended this wellness webinar. Importante po makikita nyo na nag-evolve ang mga scams at fraudulent schemes na nangyayari. So it's very common for us to be victimized by this kapag hindi tayo familiar. So we need to educate ourselves, conduct our research whenever we intend to invest in a different or a new product. So importante na knowledge is power, as mentioned kanina ni Director Nina. So importante na tayo ay aware or up-to-date pagdating sa mga iba't ibang schemes or fraudulent scams na laganap currently. And also at the same time, we encourage you also to follow the PCLIP and the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Facebook page after following also the Department of Education. Follow the PCLIP. So meron po tayong PCLIP Facebook page. You can also, meron din tayong Instagram and Twitter account. So marami po tayong information na sinishare doon that can also help you aside from being financially savvy is ma-avoid ang ating mga being victimized by fraudsters and scammers. Maraming salamat po sa pagdalo at pag-attend itong webinar na to. Thank you, Maher. Thank you, BPI Foundation.
Thank you, Miss Jen. Once again, thank you everyone for your participation and see you on the next episode of Wellness Webinar Series on September 14. You may check on the official page of DepEd Philippines for more updates and announcement about this activity. For our Zoom participants, please stay for another minute for the reminders. For our FB Live viewers, goodbye, stay safe, and together, let's all be holistically well. Thank you.